You know that feeling, right? That little sigh of relief when you hand a really tough task over to an AI. It kind of feels like you've just gained a superpower. But what if that convenience comes with a hidden cost? In this explainer, we're going to dig into the cognitive price we might be paying, a price we're really only just starting to wrap our heads around.
So let's just get right to it. The big question on everyone's mind. Are these incredible tools subtly rewiring how our brains work? Are we actually changing the way we think, the way we learn, and even how we remember things just by relying on them? All right, to really get what's going on here, we first need to talk about a core concept, something humans have honestly been doing for centuries, but AI is now taking to a whole new level. It's this thing called cognitive offloading. And look, it's not some scary new idea. We've always done it. Writing a to-do list, that's offloading the mental work of remembering. Using a calculator, you're offloading the effort of doing long division. It's just how we've always managed complex stuff.
But here's the thing. The scale has just exploded. We went from a simple calculator to Google, which was a huge leap. And now with AI, we have a tool that doesn't just find information, it synthesizes it. It creates with it. It can even argue a point. That massive jump in power forces us to ask a totally new question. What's the real cost of this ultimate convenience?
Okay, so how do we actually figure this out? Well, we have to look under the hood, right inside the brain itself. And lucky for us, a recent MIT study did exactly that, giving us a direct window into what's happening when we work with AI.
Using EEG technology, which measures brain activity in real time, researchers had a group of people write essays. And this is cool because it wasn't about asking them how they felt afterwards. Nope. It was about watching the actual neural fireworks, or maybe the lack of them, as the thinking was happening. And the way they set it up, it was really clever. They split everyone into 3 groups. The first was brain only. They had to rely completely on what was already in their heads. The second was the search engine group. They could use Google, pretty much like we all do. And the third was the LMM group, who could only use GPT-4o to help them out. 3 very different levels of cognitive offloading.
So what happened? Well, what they found wasn't just some small, tiny difference. It was a systematic change in how the brain actually operated, and it all depended on which tool the person was using.
And this is the big one, a direct quote from the study itself. So what does that mean in plain English? It means the more help the person got from the tool, the less the different parts of their brain were talking to each other. The networks we use for deep thinking, for memory recall, for planning, they just weren't lighting up as much. This chart right here, it shows you exactly what the researchers saw in the data. Over on the left, you've got the brain-only group. Their brain connectivity is high. They are fully engaged, firing on all cylinders. In the middle, the search engine group, a little less. And all the way on the right, the LLM group, well, their overall brain connectivity was the lowest of all. Their brains were, measurably, a whole lot quieter. And look, this isn't just some abstract brain science stuff that doesn't matter. That quieter brain had a direct, measurable impact on what the participants actually learned and remembered from the task they had just spent all that time on.
Get this. This is the stat that really made me pause. After they were all done, the researchers gave them a super simple task. Just quote one sentence from the essay you just wrote. For the LLM users, a whopping 83.3% couldn't do it correctly. The information just didn't seem to stick.
And it wasn't just the brain scanners that noticed something was off. Human English teachers graded all the essays, but they had no idea which essay came from which group. And their feedback on the AI-assisted essays, they said they lacked any personal insight or creativity. They literally called them soulless.
Okay, so that's what happens in a lab. You might be thinking, sure, but what about the real world? What about in our actual jobs, right? I mean, in a real job, if the work's getting done faster and it's good enough, does any of this cognitive engagement stuff actually matter?
Well, to find out, another study went and surveyed more than 300 professionals, people who use AI every single day at their jobs. And what they discovered suggests that those lab results have some pretty huge real-world implications. And this table just lays it out so clearly. Our job, the actual job of thinking, is fundamentally changing. We're shifting away from things like information gathering and problem solving and moving towards information verification and response integration. We're not just doing the task anymore, we're becoming, in their words, stewards of what the AI produces. So you can see this shift creates a whole new set of challenges, right? It's basically redefining what
thinking at work even looks like. Which brings us to this fascinating idea they found called the confidence paradox. Basically, the survey found that the more we trust in AI, the more confident we are in its abilities, the less we tend to think critically about its output. High trust, it seems, can lead to lower human engagement.
And this quote from someone in a survey just nails it. They said the AI's output was way too cookie cutter and boring. It sounds a lot like those soulless essays from the lab, doesn't it? The person had to do a ton of editing to make it useful. And that's the paradox in action. Relying too much on the AI just creates more of that new kind of work. The refining, the editing, the stewardship.
And all of this leaves us with one last, really big question to chew on. As AI gets unbelievably good at doing the what to write, what code to generate, what data to analyze, is our most valuable, most human skill becoming the why? Why this approach over that one? Why is this sentence better? Why does any of this even matter? The research seems to suggest that the future of our work isn't about letting AI think for us, but about learning how to think with it. And maybe, more importantly, how to think about it.